Evening, guys, and welcome back to the classroom with me, Architect Mark. And looking at our list up here for the commands for AutoCAD, and we're really almost completed all 75 of them. I think there's around, what's this? 11. There's 11 commands exactly that we haven't gone through yet, but some of them you already encountered with our past lessons. So right now, what we want to do is after organizational commands, we're going to the next step of using CAD, which is actually preparing things for plotting. And so let's head on. Let's head on over to the classroom and check out where all the magic happens. Okay. So, yep, we got the classroom set up. We got our timer on the ready, and let's do it. All right. So I often ask my students what you do when you want to output something out of uh, the computer. And of course, the obvious answer, which some of them get, but not all of them do, is Control P, which is short for print. You want something physical out of your drawing here. So the command print, what happens to that is a plot dialog appears. It will appear like this for some of you. And if it does appear like that, you only need to press this button here to show the rest of the controls. Yeah. Okay, so this is the entire plot dialog. So basically, what we have here is we're trying to plot out within the model space because we're on there. But there is a specific space where you should be doing this. It's not wrong to plot out within the model space, but it's better overall to plot out using the layout space. So we're gonna go there first. So we'll cancel this out and go to the first layout. And then here you can see that we have like a piece of paper, an actual piece of paper on an environment that doesn't have a grid. And on that piece of paper, we have a rectangle, which is basically a view of the model. So what this is I often try to about this, liken it to a window. So basically, this thing over here is a window into our model. So let's put something on the model. Like, let's do a very simple house here. Let's say this is the so we have a house there, and when we go back to our layout, we have a window over here, and then let's try and find that particular house that we draw. So we go into the window by double clicking on it, and then so right now you can see that controls have gone into it or are now visible on it. So we do a zoom extents command, zoom extents ZE, and there we have it. That is basically what we have in our uh, model, in our model space. This is everything we have, the uh, house elevation. So when we move out of the window or the model space, you can see that the cursor changes from a crosshair into the mouse cursor once more when you get back out, because this this thing, the layout, is basically a paper. So what we want to do is go back into the paper space. So when we double click here, that means we're clicking out of it. We're now back to the paper space. That's why the crosshair has come out like this. Now, almost all the commands that work in the model space also work in the layout space. Like, we can also draw that same thing out here. So you may be wondering, well, if this is the case, then why are we even drawing in the model space in the first place? Well, because things that we draw in the model, we can scale uh, much easier using these windows. These are called viewports. That So let's get rid of it for now, or let's see what it really is by applying a modify or properties command on it. So yep, we have a viewport right here, and it's currently at layer 0. That means it will be printed, and uh, the borders are at 0 right now, because we can put it on depth points, which is a layer that we haven't talked about yet. We'll get into that when we're actually trying to plot it out already. So let me just show you guys how to create the viewports out here. So this window that I keep on talking about, we can make a smaller window. We can make 4 of them, all right now showing the same thing, but we can move the views around. So when we do that, you can quickly see how much flexibility we have when we have our drawing in the model space and we're laying it out in our layout. That's exactly why this is called a layout. We lay out our drawings here, and can lay out multiples of them. We can lay out multiples of a particular drawing and even layer them on top of each other. It's an alternative technique, but it can also work. So yeah, how to create these things. So let's get rid of all of them. And so we're back to our paper. Right now the paper is, let's find out what the paper size is. So we will right click on the layout. You can't see it because it's going down on my screen. So we'll do a command to find that out. Page setup. All right. So right now our current layout is layout 1, and it's an A4 sized paper. This is A4. 210 by 297 is A4. This is millimeters. And then, so this is an A4 layout. So how we create windows is through the command mv, which is, you can think of it as short for model view. Here, model view, mv. And you just basically create squares, or if you don't want square, you can actually say that you want to create a polygonal uh, viewport because maybe you will find a use for it. Yeah. So you're just basically creating a portal into the model space. And when you create one, it automatically applies a zoom extents into the model space. So you see the entire model space within a, even if it's a super small model view, you'll still be able to see uh, the entire contents of your model space, which right now is just a simple outline of a house. So when you're inside, you're in model space. You can see here, command. When we double click on there, we activated the M space command. So the alternative to that, when you're inside of here, you can also command to go back into paper space by commanding P space. And what happens is you're kicked out of the model space back into the paper space. So what else do you need to know? Uh, well, that the scale, these, when you're trying to do something on paper space, the scale that you're working on is actually already 1:1. So this is exactly 297 units. Let's try that out. Activate orthographic 297. And so we have 297 and then 210, 297 again, and then close that up. So we have here our A4 sized paper, and when we align it, it's exactly the same. So you can really adjust your drawing uh, into relative positions within an A4 sized paper. Also, another thing you need to learn about is that we can use this space out of the paper and we can also plot this. But the the reason why layouts exist is that you should be able to plot out only this paper. That should be your objective, but it's not a limitation. It's the ideal scenario for CAD. Like when you activate plot again, right now you can see here that on the plot area, it says here what to plot, the layout. So if you try to preview that, let's put a plotter first. Let's just say we're gonna plot it on a PDF. And then when you don't change this, so the scale is 1:1 because that's what we're gonna be seeing here. And we're supposed to be able to see all of these. So when we preview it, that is what's going to be transferred onto the paper for you. Okay, so I think that's all the time we have for now. I will see you guys in the next session. We will not be wrapping up yet AutoCAD because we still need to practice a little bit. So there, this is almost the entire concept within plotting. See you guys next time. Take care.